pausing the action here. I'm getting ready to prime the plane when I realized that since I had to install the windscreen in place, even if I paint the outside of this clear stuff is just going to look terrible. So what I've done is I've taken the paint masks for the insides of the windscreen, I've tacked them in place, and to the point that I've realized this center section didn't fit very well. I had to cut the masking in half so that I could overlap the two pieces because it was too big. And what I'm going to do is I'm just going to throw a piece of tape over the instrument panel and control yoke so I can get a quick blast of flat black on the inside here. paint booth. We got most of the paint work done here. Explain quickly what I did. I went in, obviously both of these colors are dark, RLM 72 and 73. 73 is the lighter color here, and that's 72. What I did was I did the initial straight coats, thin down with Mr. Leveling Thinner of each color. Then I went back and I lightened each color by eye with Tamiya Dark Yellow. Great stuff for anytime you want to lighten a green color. That's the way to go. So I went back and I hit the insides of all these panels with that lighter color. Then I went back again and took the straight color again, thinned it way down, and just misted it into these panel lines to kind of give it a little bit more character, because those two colors, just the way they weren't flying for me. The white stripe is painted in, and then this panel up here is RLM2 for some reason. Got all of that done. I've gone back with, I used 4000 grit sanding sponge, and gave everything a light rub just to kind of level the texture out. So it was a little rough in a couple of spots. So there's the top, and we got the bottom. We got the yellow panels on the wingtips, RLM 65 on the bottom. I'm very happy with that. I had the canopy on while I painted. I've taken it off, touched up. I'll probably have to go back in on the edges with the correct colors. But the canopies are painted as well. I've also got the cowl with the engine built up and painted. I had to put it together to paint it, and I wanted to leave one of these cowlings open to show the engine off, but that wasn't going to fly. It just didn't sit right for some reason, and I just closed it up, sanded it, got it close to where I wanted it. The only thing I got to go back and do is repaint these where the exhausts come out from the back of the engine. The rest of it looks fine to me. I hit that with a black wash. Same thing in the front, and I think that looks pretty good. I'm happy with that. Then I have the floats. Same drill on the floats. I painted them using the same method I used on the main aircraft, and then I did the red tips on the tips of the floats. I'm very happy with this. I think it'll fit pretty well. I've got some weathering to do next. I set the tops of these floats up and the sections of the wings close to the fuselage to do chipping. So I'm going to try and chip it and see if it actually took. This was rough to get this stuff to chip, but I did get it done. I'm pretty much where I wanted it to be. You can see it here. That was a base coat of aluminum, then a coat of hairspray, and then the paint that went over the whole thing. So I think that's pretty reasonable. Got some on the other side just to kind of give it a little bit. I mean, at some point people are going to walk on the other side too for maintenance and stuff. So we got that. I did some minor chipping around the cowl. And here's the prop hub. And I'm pretty good with that. Still have to do the propeller itself. And with that, we're done with the Arado 196. So let's take a look at it. Overall, I'm pretty stoked about this. It's a nice size kit. Like I said, I'm 95% happy with it. So let's kind of run through it. I'll give you a quick and dirty review of it. Overall, I'd say I'm pretty happy with I'd say 90% of this kit. I mentioned in the first part, the engineering on this kit is really good. The kit overall assembled easy. I used maybe a couple of spots of putty along the way, not much at all. And even the seam work wasn't that bad. There wasn't a lot of seam work to be done. So overall, great kit in terms of assembly. The float assembly, when you went to put it together onto the fuselage of the plane, and it snapped into place. You just moved each leg into its corresponding slot, pushed it together, hit it with some glue, and it was done. So no problems there. The only part that I detest was the multi-part canopies. Each section of the canopy was made from 3 slab sides, the top and the 2 sides. Even the windscreen was 3 pieces, the sides and the front and top, that you had to put together and then somehow get to stay in the right position. And they were just a hot mess to build. Go out of your way to find the resin canopy replacements that are out there. I think Alicat did them, and I think CMK did them. If not CMK, it was the Czech HPH. It was one of those. Get them. Everything else was well detailed. The engine was really nice for a kit-provided engine. Revell did a good job on it. I used the Eduard photo-etched faces for the radio consoles in the back seat. I used the kit-provided instrument panel. If you paint it, it's got some nice raised detail. Put some decal gauges on it. It looks terrific. So I went with that. The gun barrels I replaced with master barrels. I used the paper belts that come with the buckles and everything. I used those in the course of assembling the kit. There's a back strap piece for the rear seat for the radio operator / gunner. It managed to come off, and it's in the fuselage somewhere in the nether regions of the fuselage. So that disappeared, but the belts themselves are still there. The pilot seat belts are there. It looks good to me. Honestly, I would never use those things again. They do nothing for me. I don't think they look that overwhelmingly realistic. Maybe other people like them. Have at it. I was happy with my paint job. The 2 greens that are on the top of the fuselage are very close, at least the way AK made them. So I was happy. It was an experiment for me to get like variations in each color, change up the tones so that you could see something. It didn't look like one dark green plane. I was happy with my results on that. The other thing I did for the first time was I used the Montex masks for the national insignia and the letters on the sides of the fuselage. That went pretty well. Overall, I was happy with it. I did manage to use the wrong national insignias on the tops of the wings. Those belonged on the fuselage sides, and the ones I used on the fuselage sides belonged on the wings. The next thing I did have issues with were the kit decals. They were a little thick, and all I used was the stencils and a couple of other markings, and for the most part, they didn't take setting solution very well. But overall, I like the plane. I like the look of it. I have to figure out how I'm going to display it, because the Revell gives you a display base for it, but it's just a round, plain base. I know there's a 1/32 scale catapult available. Yeah, I'm not blowing $115 on that when I don't think this kit is that mind-blowingly overwhelming. So I'm almost certain there somebody made a little trolley for it to sit on. If I can find that, I'm all over it. So I will scour the interwebs to try and find that. But again, a good build, a pleasant build, pretty stress-free aside from the stupid canopies. I hope you guys enjoyed it. So next time we get together, it's going to be the F4C Robin Olds Scat 27 in 1/32 scale. We're going to go to town on that. That's going to be a really involved build. I've got a lot of stuff for it, and I think that's going to be all about painting, I think. So we're going to dive into that next time. Before we go, thank you to the 795 subscribers. Thank you one and all. And we're right on the cusp of 800. Let your friends know about my channel, and let's get over 800. And I think that'll be remarkable. We're coming up on a year in another month. So we're really moving along. Thank you all for your support. Thank you all for your comments. I love interacting with people from around the world, especially you Australian guys, you Aussies. Thank you for all your input. Thank you for supporting me. And like I said, next time we get together, F4C in 1/32 scale. Like and subscribe. I got to get all this stuff in. And let me know what you think of the plane in the comments below. Leave me a comment. Feed the algorithm for YouTube. And I hope you guys will stay well. And I'll see you next time, guys. Take care.